back in the city of Houston, Texas. What's the date?
March 6th.
March 6th, 2004. I come every year, and I've been coming every year since 2000. And we have some real good hot ones, especially the last one. And you know, so I'm glad to be back. Got a lot of information. A lot of stuff happening these days. We're gonna get into all that, all the stuff, all the solutions and all that. But a lot of stuff that's also happening is just happening right on the mundane level, the news level. The news level. We want to get into a lot of that type of stuff also. So what I want to do is I want to spit the rum and let's get this thing going. And like I said, we get this thing going. And we have some new entities. Like I said, it's about 54 of them. 54 new entities came to the planet since 2001, since March of 2001. 54 entities, as well as the, when we add the Apollos up in there, it's well over, and a couple of other ones, this active is well over 90 deities we can deal with. And what this simply means is we're not just dealing like, I did a lot of stuff in the 1990s, and I did a lot of research. We had to put down tons and tons and tons of research. And that research goes in to try to have some breakthroughs. And then in 2000, 2001, the breakthroughs started coming. So what we mean here is we have something that's not just theory, or not just trying to learn about the fragments of the old stuff that went down. What we actually have now is an actual working system. We've made contact, in so many words. We've made contact in the particular realm of what's on the other side. So despite what most people are dealing with at this particular time as far as wondering if certain things is going to go off. You got the Christians worried about Jesus coming back. You got the Hebrews worried about the Messiah. You got Islam worried about the Mahdi. But what they don't realize is, and then you got all kind of white magical orders that's still looking for breakthroughs, but they've just basically been defunct. What we have now is there's several entities that's coming through the planet. They just ain't hanging out in the normal means of the established religions or in the white community. They're hanging out in the ghetto. So, I still say keep in mind that there's actual living energies and entities and stuff that we're actually in contact with every day. There's even some more things. I'll go deeper into this today on how a lot of this stuff is going to come about. I just did a tape in New York called Babylonia, The Magic and Mystery of Love and Sex. And it's an awesome tape, about 5 hours long. And it took us 8 hours to do it because there was all kind of forces trying to stop us. But we finally got it done, and it's unbelievable. So what we're talking about here, we're also talking about certain forces and stuff we'll get into tonight that is actually happening. And we've noticed the change just in 2004 alone. There's a lot of things that's going down in the change in 2004 alone. But in order to track all this type of stuff, well, we got to find out what the actual government is doing in the actual news every day, because it's all types of stuff that's going on based on distraction and based on other things. So what we want to do is we want to get into some of that type of stuff too, as well as it really raises hell on the medical level as far as you going to these doctors and different things like that. As far as you going to these doctors, we got all types of solutions. We got all types of things that you can take. I used to have this combination of some vitamins that I took in 2000. I took them 10 years ago. I think 10 or 11 years ago in 1993. And I couldn't never get the effect back because I lost one of the ingredients, and I only got the ingredients back probably a couple of months ago. So I want to give out that particular ingredients also. Want to give out that particular ingredients also. we need you to pay attention and start looking at the skies. In the Hermetic text, they said that the people will be so dead until they will not even look up to see if there's some strange stuff in the skies. You see what I'm saying? You got to look up at the skies. What we're going to do is also want to give out a list. There's several boats, or what they call ships. These are coming from the Egyptian text. And these are coming from the Egyptian text. So if you want, I'm going to tell you, so some people got pencil and paper whether to write down these boats. It's several boats and these ships. A lot of this stuff is also talking about the chakras and stuff that's on the inside of you. It's that's on the inside of you also. Different aspects. So we're going to get into different things. Right now, a lot of the energy is happening on the heart chakra level. And the heart chakra level also deals with love, passion, and it deals with also being creative even in your sexual habits, in the aspect of not being conservative and breaking certain patterns and stuff that keep you on lockdown, which is called automaton when I get into this particular aspect. So we're going to deal with some of those too. Well, but before we do that, let's go ahead and pour the libations and get this thing on the road. You all know the deal. And get this on the road. Like I said, I was in New York last weekend, and I also did a tape called Bobby Hemmitt's Dark Side Masterpiece in St. Louis, and I'm getting ready to do a part 2 to that. It's only an hour and 45 minutes long, but it's an awesome piece. Here goes again, trying to break up that same old mindset at this particular time. At this particular time, you shouldn't be accepting anything that is common sense and normal to the mind. Everything should have some type of what they call foresight. Two brothers in ancient Greece, which is ancient black Greece, Prometheus and Epimetheus. Prometheus is one who has foresight, and Epimetheus is one who has hindsight. Well, that's basically virtually black people. We have hindsight. Even when we think that we are being intellectual, and then when we think that we are on it, we are only regurgitating some shit that was taught to us. So all our minds are a series of things that was taught to us, and we even have to challenge even if our thoughts is even free. Even when we talk about freedom, and our freedom is given to us by the doggone oppressor. So even the concepts of freedom and what we call free, you see what I'm saying, is given to us by the oppressor. I remember back in '99, I'm standing in the line down in Atlanta, paying a fucking phone bill. But you know, black people are the only ones now that go out and pay the phone bill now. White folks is either emailing it in or, you know what I'm saying, a direct deposit or whatever. So you see a line full of people paying the phone bill, you know, you see. And then you know, when white folks used to do it, it used to be nice offices and stuff you can go into. And when white folks graduate from that, nice check cashing places and shit like that. You know? So I'm in the damn line paying the phone bill, and this guy is out there, and he pulls up, he's in the line, and the cop comes to go write him a ticket. And he gets out there before the cop even get out the car. And the cop still write him a ticket. And he come back in, and I looked at him and said, damn, here it is, you coming to pay one bill and receive another bill. And you say we free. He, oh, we free, we free. Oh, we free. You see, so that whole concept here, oh, we free, I'm like, even our concept of freedom is given to us by somebody else, and we must push the envelope. And I think a lot of you are on lockdown and stuff like that now because you are not thinking, on a strange way, or adults don't supposed to have outlandish dreams and outlandish imagination. That means they got you on lockdown. You see what I'm saying? On lockdown, automaton. We're going to go into that particular thing. One of the most powerful ones is how creative you can get with your mate. You see what I'm saying? Whether it be some whips or chains or handcuffs or blindfolds or whatever you do, you're going to have to push this shit to the other level than some Brady Bunch shit. So it's interesting. This the very thing that the white boys is telling you not to deal with it, the very thing that you talk about is freaky. Oh, that's freaky. That's the very thing that you need to do, at least in your imagination. Some of this stuff is damn impossible to do physically. Especially if you ain't fucking 19. But you can at least have it in the imagination. Now what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about things, you're saying, what has this got to do with us getting up out of here and us gaining particular control and power? It all starts with the inner mind and the body. And the Kundalini energy, which is the force in us, which is the force that they're fighting not to raise, is a sexual energy and a feminine energy. You see what I'm saying? And a feminine energy. A brother called me for help the other day, and you know, he wants this help. He wants me to help him out with certain situations going on in his life, but 90% of his thing is controlling his mate, putting her on lockdown, trying to control her mind. I'm like, look, man, this ain't the fucking Mac. You know, this ain't the Mac. This ain't no fucking pimp. Pimps up and holds down. And stuff, pimps up and holds down. I said, the realm that we are now in, the polarities changes that feminine realm. And if you're holding that down, you are actually going against the grain. I said, you know, and the first thing he was shaking his head, so I said, I tell you, I'm going to give this sister a call, and we're going to call down the entities and see can these entities help you. And the first thing they did is, we don't particularly like him. I said, oh shit. So there's things that's going on and all. We just got to challenge our minds. We got to come out of just the everyday people. And we're going to go into that type of thing when we really go into what's really going down, which means is this. We say now in Atlanta, if you see somebody with something on their mind, it might be every 2 months. Well, one brother came up to me, he drive a UPS truck, and he was like, yo man, you told me last week it'd be 2 months before I see somebody with something on their mind. He's saying the people, the level of ignorance is so bad amongst our people until whenever I see somebody with something on their mind, he said it ain't just 2 months. He said when I see somebody on there with something on their mind, it's like I look at them as an angel. So that means in an actuality, and I was like, man, that's what we're talking about here. The people who have a certain amount of knowledge are actually the angels. You see, are actually the angels. And I talk about my friend Boss Cece, who showed up in New York, and all the people was there last 2 weeks ago. And Boss Cece is 64 years old, and then got and about 2 years ago, in the 62, got run over by a damn car. Car hit his ass, ran his ass over. He had on a white suit, and then he got up and walked 5 blocks to the sister house and came back to the wreck. And and then they was looking for the guy that got run over, and it was like, well, this guy, he got tire tracks all over his white suit. He must be the one. And I'm like, damn, Boss, he said, did you break any bones? He was like, no, ain't nothing happened. I had a scratch on my face. He said the next morning that healed up. Now, what we're trying to say here is everything reversed. We know that they put out the movie Unbreakable in 2000. And why did they have the black man being weak and the white man being strong? You got to reverse it. You see what I'm saying? Bruce Willis was actually playing the role of the black man, and Samuel L. Jackson was playing the role of the white man. And it says in the Hermetic text that the strong man will be considered weak, and the weak man will be considered strong. So I'm telling you right now that what you all don't know, right now if you have some type of consciousness, and you say, well, how do I know I have this type of consciousness? If you are in here tonight, you are already on that level. Because the cells are mutating. And the cells are going to another level. We are becoming, we're transmutating every day. We're transmutating every day. What you don't realize is psychologically, mentally, physically, physiologically, you all are probably mutated into those unbreakable beings. You see what I'm saying? I got a friend, and it's interesting, the reason why I know that because the guy named Wayne Chandler, that wrote the book Ancient Future. Last summer got hit by a car, a SUV, bent the SUV back into the goddamn window, the whole hood or whatever into the window. He bounces up 20 feet in the air and land on his feet like the fucking Matrix. and nothing's wrong with him. The car is all fucked up. But then, when he went to the doctor and all, he had a little knot right here, and the guy said the force, the impact of that car, whatever that force was, it took all that impact of that car. So they had to massage it out, but I'm just trying to say, he's supposed to be dead. So we know now that the conscious people are transmutating. So all the X-Men movies and all that stuff is about us. Is about us. certain aspects is getting ready to start happening androgyny in the particular aspect that if you're black man, you're going to start taking on certain characteristics that normally, certain cycles and stuff that women will feel, they're going to become more prevalent in you. And certain things that men feel are going to become more prevalent in sisters. You see what I'm saying? That's called the androgyny level, where we're going back to those dual beings and stuff like those dual beings. So you got to catch the wave of all that type of energy. What is going on? So there's certain thoughts and certain things that's getting ready to happen. Whereas it'll take anyway, you know. I mean, it takes from right back there.
Oh yeah, I'm just with the libation.
There's certain aspects. There's certain aspects that sisters are coming into where they're thinking different, and the brothers are coming in and thinking different. And you're gonna have to ride that wave and don't reject that wave. I'm going ahead of myself at this particular time, but we are. Although it may not, it may seem worse than it ever was, because when it comes to the masses of people, our people are the worst now. Yes. Our people are the damn worst now. And our people now will kill you, sell you out, and anything for money. Your good friends. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? You add money in the pot, they're gonna sell you out. I mean, it's just unbelievable things that's happening with the dead. So, but then again, on the other hand, they say when that happens, that's the time to rejoice, because that means that this stuff is with us at this particular time. Is with us at this particular time. Well, let me go pour the libations, and then we will after we pour the libations, then we'll go back into some stuff. You know, so we spit the rum, and did they have a little cup in there or something? I'll pour them a little bit up in there too, and stuff here. And we'll do that. Is there a little paper cup or plastic cup? But that's good. Is anything in there? Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Just like that. All right. We put them a little bit up here, so I don't knock this shit over. No, yeah. There's a guy. We advertising this. Let me get the guy's number, because I want people to get a hold of this thing when you get a chance. We're always giving you the jewels. There's not that many real good black books coming out these days. See if I got the guy's number in here. You know, let's see here. The guy's name is there's a brother that along the same time I was doing doing my thing as far as doing my research about 12, 13 years ago. This brother was doing research in metaphysics, conspiracy, different aspects of black terminology, music, money, just about anything that you can think of on the conscious realm. There's a guy put out a book called Functionary. It's inspired by George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, and all of that, but it's a conscious book. And it's called A Functionary. The guy's name is Dr. Blind. He's coming from, that's B-L-Y-N-D, Dr. Blind, PhD, Professor Emeritus of University of Chocolate City. But anyway, this book here, I went to Baltimore and did a lecture, and this particular brother, came out, and one brother brought me this book, and I said, okay, I'll read it. And when I took it home, it was unbelievable the amount of research that I've been doing. This brother was doing the same type of research at the same time. And it's unbelievable and stuff. And he put this, it took him 13 years to put this book together. And it's actually a black encyclopedia dictionary with just about anything you want to name on conspiracy. You look up Kundalini, you look up melanin, you look up pineal gland, you look up money, you look up the government. It's got this, so it's not just metaphysical, it's everything you want to name. This brother's put this thing together. And his name is Dr. Blind, and the name of this book is called The Functionary. The Functionary. I'm going to give you his number, and you can call him if you want to order the book. It's a black publishing company, and this is almost This is almost 400-500 pages. He's done an additional one. Since I got this in November, since then I think he's added an additional 100 pages. So for the people that want this number, I'll put it on the tape. And when you get the tape, you can do that, or you can write it down. The book costs $40 because you're using a black publisher, and it costs him about it costs him about $20 to make each book. But then again, it's not like as if that's too much and stuff, because black people tend to pay what the hell they want. You pay $40 a minute to go see some goddamn Steve Harvey. You see what I'm saying? A Cedric the Entertainer. But when they come to a book, you see what I'm saying? All of a sudden we got problems. You see what I'm saying? You go see some fucking R. Kelly and some shit for $60, $70. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on your mindset. We tend to be able to buy anything we want to buy. You know what I'm saying? How many times you done bought clothes that you haven't even wore yet? And you bought them last year. You see what I'm saying? And also, this is nothing, and also, it's nothing. But the brothers is Dr. Blind, BLYND, and the number that you're going to call is 240-447-6146. 240-447-6146. That's the cell number, and you can get in touch with this brother and get this particular book called The Functionary. I just want to put that out here and stuff, because whenever somebody does put 13 years in a damn dictionary, encyclopedia, and the work that he has in his some diligent stuff, whenever a person does that, now I figure it's worth you all in the black community getting a hold to it and stuff like that. So it's very key that you get a hold of that stuff. All right, let's pour the libations. And let's roll with this thing here. Y'all alright? Yeah. We're gonna get this thing going, because shoot, boy. I mean, I missed the plane this morning. And I don't know, I think that whenever I notice when you miss the plane, obviously the spirits don't want you to go on the plane. And I think that what's going on here was, you see, they're dealing with this terrorist thing. Now everything in terrorism, just about everything I talk about now is considered a terrorist act. You see what I'm saying? Well, I'm going ahead of myself. But then all of a sudden, whenever I miss a plane, it's because they got some people that want to check your stuff. And if they find some subversive materials, they call that terrorism. Now remember now, we didn't have nothing to do with it because we don't run shit. But the Europeans who are in the country that have a little more say-so about this thing have let these people come in and got these laws that they can just call you a terrorist, and then they can say national security, and basically the public will never be able to find out what you did. So that means that they can literally step up to you, call you a terrorist, then say a matter of national security, and then they can take you to a military tribunal, try you, convict you, and execute you, and nobody will know nothing. So we're talking about total slavery, total lockdown. So it's nothing for them to go and check some bags and say, well, this is subversive material. You see what I'm saying? And then the next thing you know, nobody hear from you no more. And there's nothing nobody can do about it. Oh, they got Bobby at the airport. He was doing some terrorist activity. And with our people, as sick as our people are, they won't believe all that shit. So I'll be home in my little hometown in Mother, South Carolina, and motherfucker like, yeah, you know, Bobby was a terrorist, man. And that nigga did some shit. They got him at the airport, and he, you know, shit, they got him at Guantanamo Bay, down there with all the goddamn, all the other Arabs and Alhamdulillahs and stuff. And that's the way the shit goes. But that's what to tell you, we're on this particular lockdown this way. So when I missed the plane today, and the brother who was supposed to be driving, and the car messed up and all this kind of thing, is an Anubis type energy, which is protection. So therefore when I missed the plane today, I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then it took me, I was so mad about missing the plane, until it took me about a couple of hours to realize, hey, the spirits was making sure you missed that plane, because they checking shit. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to go deeper into this thing here and all, because you guess what? The key to this thing, believe it or not, is not based on what guns and bombs and all this kind of thing here. The key to this whole thing here is, and we're going to put a libations and we'll go into this later on, is the great mystery here, and it might sound just so simple, is if they can get the black man and the black woman to come together harmoniously on a level that they get out of all these particular issues against each other, and they can come together and tap in to a certain level, they know that this shit is over. And we don't need the masses and stuff like that. So there's some stuff going on, and I'll tell you what this thing is about. He said, I'm not talking about no church shit. I'm not talking about the family and the Bieber Cleaver shit. You see? But we talking about something on another level here, you know. But they know that they fight around the clock to keep the brothers and the sisters separated on a certain level. You see what I'm saying? So, a certain level. And so that's just very interesting. So, let's pour the libations and let's go with this thing. All right. We'll do with the Apollos first. Don't try this at home. You'll hurt yourself. All right. Let's go with Zarabanda, Zarabanda, Zarabanda. Ashe. El Cristo Negro. Ashe. La Spiritual and Tranquilis. La Santissima Muerte. San Simon. El Cristo Rey. Madre de la Luna. Madre de Agua. La Santissima Petra Eamon. Francisco Siete Reyes. Mama Shola. Lavado. Luigi. Atama. Orawado. Kowa. Obawadi. Leowa. Bodugo. Biwasta. Amatiz. Awudagate. Brigida. Segun. Keku. Hanael, Tarek, Dagan, Hanai, Arim, Aduma, Josiris. I'm going on. Ishtar, Monu, Noku, Mana, Imatu, Titi, Joba, Oticha, Tiaja, Sheola, Shumala, Omagumu. Give me some live old shade. Omagumu, Alcala, Sokeo, Pekamo, Lalila, Oalensu, Dalonia, Aya, Ayo. El Malik, Rakon, Notorio, Mona, Netsu, Mitu, Exanti, Kasembo, Nisaba, Nisaba, Alpio Lukea, Azuzu, Lucifer, Anubarech, Mayatbo, Sekletbo, Sekerbo, Hinubo, Isisbo, Het Heru, Horusbo, Achurchibo, Hinbo, Apple, Himbubo, Rabo, Amanrabo, and Tubo. New boat, Osabo, Osiris boat, Onset boat. Ashe, going right along. Dan Balawedo, Adawedo, Congo Nasba, Urzuli, Bridget, Marasha, Simbi, Adamberti, Baron Samadi, Brigitte, Congo, Peta, Rada, Goatia, Kalipa, Tayaman, Kingu, Titans, Leviathan, Leviathan, Momu, Asta, Luke, Hattie, Rawhard Hewitt, Raheru Kahudi, Hamaku, Aset, Isis, Heru, Heru Aha, Hasefi, Heru Bahutit, Hamaku, Hamerti, Sudha, Sebe, Seker, Sadu, Sahu, Manru, Chemifis, Cam, Hemmitt, Shiva, Rudra, Ishtar, Astarte, Aphrodite, Inanna, Areshkavu, Echidna, Melektas, Awas, Obas, Ibas, Awes, Thunderdog, Sunbear, Pakshidi, Cam, Chemifis, Pam, Bal, Malshim, Apollo, Hercules, Dionysus, Prometheus, Tim, Minimus, Mintu, hold on, a few more, we're gonna do this. Melchizedek, Sutek, Sebek, Sabu, Soker, Osiris Seker, Ptah, Amen Rithensa, Lamat, Sam, Cam, Rerit, Lilith, Layla, Lilitu, Kali, Kalima, Sri Lakshmi, Tara, Durga, Krishna, Radha, Balarama, Shina Master, Virtuous, Danai, Vishnu, let's see, Nephilim, Nephers, Netters, Nibiru, Cthulhu, Shanidra, Haston, Yosatos, Shekinah, Sekhmet, Sashet, Maya, Metatron, think that'll do it for it right now. Okay, we'll deal with those right now. Ashe. My Hemmitt family, Shaw family, Davis family, call out your ancestors. 1, 2, 3. Start calling out your ancestors. Ashe, 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 Ashe. All right. Okay, now going into this stuff here, y'all all right? Okay. We get right into some stuff that's actually happening at this particular time. It's actually happening at this particular time on the news and every other thing. Let's see if I got some other papers and stuff in my bag. Let's see. First of all, you know that they're getting real serious anytime they lock up a supreme elite white woman, Martha Stewart. You see, that's real major. You see what I'm saying? That means that they put her on lockdown. You see, then that lets you know that in actuality, that it's lights out for everybody else. But I think that it's more of a ritual. I think that it's more of a ritual that is going on here. I think they had to give up or sacrifice one of the elite. This woman's stuff was $1 billion going into the stock exchange in 2000. So we're talking about elite. Rich billionaires don't even go to jail. They don't even go to court. So anytime you see some stuff going to court, that means that every now and then they got to give a sacrifice up. And they did it back in 1990 with this Leona Helmsley, rich white woman. You see, not 89 or 90 and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So whenever you see this type of thing that's going down, that's going down, that's a ritual. Because real rich white folks don't even go to jail. You see what I'm saying? So for the mere fact they don't even make it to court, you don't even know nothing about it. I mean, these people do stuff money-wise every day. You see what I'm saying? On that level. So whenever you see this, that's because they're giving you something because it's like a ritual. It's a sacrifice. So they had to give up an elite Hampton, Long Island cracker. You see what I'm saying? This wasn't just no little peon and stuff that we're talking about a rich white woman. You see what I'm saying? Meanwhile, leave Oprah running. You see what I'm saying? It ain't attacking her. So you got to understand, when they do these things like this and all, that's a major ritual that's going down. You see, but it's very key on how this whole thing goes down, because they know that this year is a very important year. This would be the 10-year anniversary of the book of the law that was given to Alistair Crowley by the entity Awas, or the angel Awas. So they already know that that's a very powerful, this is a very powerful year, and so therefore they have to line up things, but they also have to do certain rituals. Now on one hand, they do a ritual like this to take the elite woman. The elite woman, it's a pretty little chair, but it's good. The elite woman, the elite white woman, and no, this is cool. No, this is cool. It's more comfortable, more ass pad, you know. The elite white woman, and on the other hand, they did a ritual on Super Bowl night. That was a straight up ritual. Now let me explain what's going down so you know what's going on. Number one, in 1999 or 2000, I don't remember which Super Bowl it was, but either way, it was either on the millennium or the year before the millennium. They were afraid, white folks were afraid that they would not make it into the millennium. They were afraid that they might not make it into the millennium. So what they did was, I don't know why I'm sitting down. I don't never sit down this damn early, but the spirit do shit, so I gotta go with what the spirits do. But what they did is they were afraid that they wouldn't go into the millennium. They didn't know what might happen. So they took the ritual at the Super Bowl. Number one, the Super Bowl is the biggest thing in this country. There's nothing in this country bigger than the Super Bowl. Nothing. They said there's nothing, no event that happens in this country bigger than the Super Bowl. They have the Olympics every 4 years, but they can't even come close to what they do every year with the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is also the cup, the grail that they talk about in the Grail mythology, the bowl, the chrome, which is also a feminine energy there. Anytime you get the chrome, anytime you see the three witches standing around the black witch's pot, the mother maiden chrome, that's very powerful energy. So this is a very huge ritual. So if anything they're going to do on a ritual, it's going to go down during the Super Bowl. So they knew that they were so scared, so nervous that they might not be here. The first thing they did is, I think it might have been the one from '99. The first thing they did was that they took Tina Turner at halftime. And they took Tina Turner and they had her to come out performing. That represented what they call a mother maiden crone. That is the woman that is nearing 50 or 40 plus. Because that's when the woman starts gaining a whole lot of power at 40 plus. So they took the person that's nearing 50 and they had her to come out at first. So she represents the great mother or the elderly aspect of the mother maiden crone. And then they had all the festivities that would come out after her. And then right at the end, they had Toni Braxton rise up from the stage with a long white flowing dress on. That represents Mayat, or that represents the new goddess. So they gave these two renditions of Het Heru, the older goddess of love, and Mayat, the new goddess of love. In Greece, you have Venus, or you have Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and then you have Psyche, which would be the new goddess of love. Psyche represents the black woman in the physical body in the mythology, which would be the new goddess of love. So they're saying that the black woman down here, the next word, when it all ends up, you will be the queens of heaven. Literally sitting on the throne, the black women in this room. This book goes into, this book called Isis Magic by M. Isadora Forrest. Probably, I don't buy that many books no more because a lot of it is when you get the type of library I have, a lot of books are made from the stuff that I got in the library. This particular book here was excellent because it's got a lot of scholarship on it. And they talk about how all women are set. And they got a whole section on the black Isis in here, which I thought was very good. And so this is the one. I also got a ritual up in here on how to open up the heart chakra. Some of your sisters might be interested in getting this shit in, opening up some heart chakras and shit, you know what I mean? And if you know what that's about having somebody, walking down behind you all chained up on a leash. Believe me, submission is power in this case when we go into this shit. But anyway, don't fight it because there's some jewels coming out of that and all. You see what I'm saying? But I'll go into the science on that. But this particular book here, Isis or Aset Magic, is it's $30, it's $29, but this book here is worth every penny of it. And they waited. This book, I think it came out in 2003. Well, it actually came out 2001, 2001. But this book here is excellent. And Isis Magic, M. Isadora Forrest. And this is the book that you need to get. And they got, and they have so many rituals up in here. Now the reason why I'm saying this book here is more authentic as far as the rituals up in here, because the Aset or the Isis's realm has now returned. Since 2004, since the winter solstice, the Aset, that realm, the Aset Ishtar realm is now what's running shit. You see what I'm saying? It's now what's running shit. So this book here is very key as far as that feminine realm. Now, I'm going ahead of myself, but we'll go back into some of that stuff as we go on. But anyway, to deal with this thing here is they knew by dealing with this thing when they rose Toni Braxton and all that up was to pay homage to the black woman or the great mother. So as a result, what happened was they blew up the World Trade Center, they went into the war, they went into a whole lot of things, and all of a sudden they was like, hey, obviously the millennium thing don't really matter. They done went to war, so now the white boy's arrogant again and boastful. See how that goes? So the first thing he has to do now, he has to reverse the ritual that he did in '99 or 2000. I don't remember which one, but I know it was one of those. same thing. He had to reverse that ritual. So what he did was, this is the reversal of the ritual, the Janet Jackson aspect. They take Justin Timberlake, which is representing their new offspring. You see what I'm saying? And he comes out and snatches off her top. Now this is ritualistic of when they used to rape the black woman, especially in slavery, and even in Reconstruction and on into whenever. That's the first thing they did, they rip off her top. You see what I'm saying? So this is symbolic, but he represents the future generation of white male supremacy. See what I'm saying? So therefore they got to get this white boy, no talent whatsoever. He comes out, they rip off the top, it's all contrived, it's all planned, and everything. And that was a ritual to topple the black woman because they're arrogant this way. You see what I'm saying? Now they had Nelly and Puff Daddy came on before that and all, but see, even if Nelly and Puff Daddy did it, and although it's like Arsenio Hall say, no person should ever see. He said, nobody's complaining about how this woman got her breast, her shit ripped off. He's saying, and most people, children saw this thing. Because when this happened, it was 7:26. That's prime time. You see what I'm saying? East Coast, that's prime time when this thing happened. Just so happened to happen in this town, right? Everything is everything. It's not by mistake. Now I get the shit.
Come on.
I'm trying to get this shit on why the fuck I missed that plane. You see what I'm saying? It just came to me what the fuck was going on.
Come on.
When they do certain rituals in certain towns, they don't want certain things to come in and bust shit up. Now I know this for a fact because Augusta, Georgia, they have the Masters every year. They used to have a black mayor down in Augusta. Do you know that the crackers would make that nigga leave town every year at the Masters? He would have to leave town, the mayor. See, I knew something was going on and I couldn't figure it out. I called Washington, D.C. I called Washington, D.C. and stuff. I knew some shit was going on, you know, in D.C. And because I got this new girlfriend and shit that done fucked my head up, blowed up my nose and got me howling at the moon at night and shit like that and all, you know what I'm saying? You know, I might be in some motherfucking blindfold and shit when y'all see me the next time with some chain around my neck and stuff like that. And she chain whipping my ass and stuff like that and all. But I called D.C. and she called this other sister. You know, there's some shit going on today. Down in Atlanta, people saying, man, I can feel it, some stuff going on. And then I realized what's going on. It's got something to do with Houston. What are the odds of this thing here? You know, it's got something to do with, because this is, now look, now let's deal with this. Number one, this thing went down in Black History Month. All right? The same time it was going down, the Haitian Revolution started. Or let's put it this way, the Haitian Uprising. Now, it's not by mistake that the Haitian Uprising is the 200-year anniversary of the Haitian Revolution. Everything is everything. And Aristide was kicked out the last day of February. So you got to understand the science here. You see, now, the rebel, whether it's Aristide in or the rebel in, it's all run by the American government.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We'll go into that in a few minutes. But the ritual went down in Houston. Now Beyonce came out in a white dress. The last time they had the black woman rise up, it was Toni Braxton that rose up in a white flowing dress. Beyonce comes out in a white dress. You see what I'm saying? And then by the end of the show, Janet Jackson comes out in black and red, which represents Osiris and the menstrual blood of Isis, the black temple, red temple, and she gets dethroned. So they took it from the white light of Mayat, which Toni Braxton did. They brought Mayat back. This time she's Beyonce in Houston. You bet you. I tell you one thing. You better know this thing. Come on. They probably picked Houston just because Beyonce was from goddamn Houston.
It's like Toni Braxton was in Atlanta when they did that one back.
Okay, but it was in Atlanta.
In Atlanta when Toni
But in Atlanta, you see what I'm saying? How this whole thing goes? You see. So now, let's recap, because we're trying to break this down with a ritual. Now they raised the black woman up in '99 in Atlanta with Tony Braxton. They had Tina Turner comes out, you know. Then Tony Braxton comes out in a long flowing gown like my yacht. Then they got to tear her down. So what they do is they have Beyonce come out in 2004 with a white dress on. And they were saying that it opened, they said that it was one of the best, for whatever their national anthem was, they said it was one of the best national anthems in a long time. And they said it was completely overshadowed, but then again, she was being dethroned by the same time Janet Jackson came out. You understand what I'm saying? By the time Janet Jackson came out, she was being dethroned, and she comes out wearing the black and the red temple, which is the red is the menstrual blood, which is power, which represents the kundalini, the root chakra. The black represents the black dot. And so they snatched this thing off, you see what I'm saying? They're exposing the breast and stuff, and it's a dethroning. They do it in prime time. You see what I'm saying? They do it in prime time. Then it spills over into the Grammys. They bring back Beyonce with Prince. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, they got Justin Timberlake out there winning Grammys, performing twice, can't dance but for shit, and he got an all-black band. But yet they say he's becoming a bit of a soul man. That's what they said on the Grammys. Justin Timberlake's coming, this motherfucker ain't got enough soul. You know what I'm saying? You know, goddamn Bimberine got more fucking soul. You see what I'm saying? You know, so this nigga here, this nigga comes out, you see, he's done 2 shows, and he got an all-black band. Meanwhile, they dethroned it, they tell, what's her name, she can't come at all. You see, now they fucked around and went and invited her late that Saturday night. But that whole week, they barred her from the place. Now look at the white supremacy here. Now, if you say that it's a malfunction, and both Justin Timberlake and her says it's malfunction, then that means that if it's a malfunction, you got to invite her too because it's a malfunction. Now, if you're saying that it was contrived, that it was a conspiracy, and it was planned out, and you bar her, why the fuck you don't bar Justin Timberlake? But the mystery here is that that's white supremacy. White people can do things different than black people. You see, and he cannot be chastised for it because the whole concept here is to raise back up that white supremacy for the new order. You see what I'm saying? For the new order. You see, what's that?
Some white dude in Houston made that outfit for them because they showed him on the news.
Man, that shit, if you just slow down the video and look at it, you can tell where they timing it so they can rip it at the right time. It was almost like it was a count. If you looked at it, it was like, you got it, bam. And my point here, if it wasn't supposed to go off, why she got some fucking tassel shit on her fucking titty? Why you gonna put a damn titty nipple tassel on your shit and you're not supposed to show it? That's uncomfortable, ain't it? It would be, you got on a tight ass Matrix outfit, some Trinity outfit, and you got on a tassel and stuff, but it's all a part of the thing. So the point I'm trying to make is, they couldn't chastise him because the whole concept here is he's rising up out of the black woman. He's rising up from the ashes of the dethroned black woman. So in order to do that, you got to doggone chastise her. You see what I'm saying? You got to chastise her, and that's the whole concept here, is still that particular ritual that goes down. You see, on that particular level. Meanwhile, they're doing it at the same time Michael Jackson, you see what I'm saying, is in the whole trouble. And you know, and see, last year this time, it was Black History Month that they dethroned Michael Jackson when this thing started up again, when they had the guy come and do the interview. So now Black History Month has now become Counter Black History Month. You see what I'm saying? Counter Black History Month. So this is a part of a major ritual that they do for some type of reason. We know what it is, and for some type of reason. But the key here is the whole Houston thing that goes down. And then the next thing I know, the spirits is stopping me from getting on the plane this morning. And all like this and all, because it's almost like they didn't want a person to come, because number one, it's a full moon tonight. You see what I'm saying? It's a full moon tonight. And they set up a certain amount of energy and a certain amount of things with the Super Bowl. And this is only literally, the Super Bowl was what, the first weekend? What was the first? On the first. On the first. This is the first weekend, literally, in March. So it's almost like you'd be undoing, you see, a certain amount of things. It is still, am I still sitting down? Okay, I just want to know. I go get up and down, you know. So, this is how this particular whole ritual thing go down. Now, meanwhile, when did the movie come out? The Jesus Christ movie, last week. Huh? The 25th or something. Anyway, it had to be released. Show you the ritual now. That movie had to be released during Black History Month. Okay? Now, this is the mystery to the movie, because they're going to dupe you because you think it is controversial. So you looking and saying, you know, you want to go see the movie, and they got all these people, got this whole argument going on about the murder of Christ and the Jews, and saying they're going to blame us and all this thing here, and you think it's controversial. So they give you the controversial aspect of the Jesus thing, so you don't really look and see what's really going on, and the real going on is this particular ritual. Every 10 to 20 years, give or take, they got to show that white Jesus Christ on the screen.
Come on, Bobby. Come on.
You see what I'm saying? You thinking it's about the controversy of him getting his ass whipped. I heard they whipped his ass. Anybody saw this shit yet? I heard they beat this motherfucker ass from start to finish. You know. But you looking at that and getting all emotional. They done had one white woman fell out and done had a heart attack in the damn movies. You see what I'm saying? So now they're looking at this thing and you looking at this emotional thing, but that's the way they had to bring it to the screen. They couldn't bring just another movie about Jesus Christ to the screen. It's got to be something grotesque. So now, meanwhile, you getting into the conspiracy and you don't realize that every 20 years, 10 to 20 years, they got to show a white Jesus Christ on the screen. In the 1960s, it was the greatest story ever told. In the 1970s, it was doggone Jesus Christ Superstar to play. In the 1980s, it was the Last Temptation of Christ. They skipped the general decade because the black man threw the shit on when Blair Underwood did one on the Black Christ, and they won't show that shit to this day. You can't even get it on doggone video. Where he had the dreadlocks and all that, you can't get it on video because that was busting up the ritual. So they had to come back strong. So they come out with this one, and everybody's arguing about the controversy. But what you don't realize is the image of the white Jesus Christ is going into the younger generation's head. You see what I'm saying? Now the reason why we know it's mind control, because guess who are the first people to see this thing? The first people to see it in this country, they made sure that the first people to see it was not white folks. It was Bishop Eddie Long's church down in Atlanta, Georgia. What's the name of that church? New Birth Baptist Church. And you know, he wasn't super mega preachers like T.D. Jakes and stuff and Creflo Dollar. So they made sure that Bishop Eddie Long and a group of congregation of black people saw this white Jesus Christ. They saw it a month ago before anybody in the country. That's the ritual for the minds of your children. You see what I'm saying? When you get into controversy whether Jesus existed or whether Jesus was black, still yet the thing that went down with Blair Underwood, showing a black Jesus Christ with dreadlocks, you see what I'm saying? And Stephen King giving you the movie John Coffey, The Green Mile, J.C., Jesus Christ, John Coffey, and they hit that nigga with a goddamn coffee doing that shit. That cracker, they hit him with a coffee. You don't do no shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Madonna does a video with the guy Leon in there as Jesus in the damn Catholic church chastise her ass. You see what I'm saying? So it's been this black Jesus Christ thing that's been going down. Even the papacy and even the Rome did a stamp or something, a picture of how Jesus would look, and it was a feminine looking male. I think I got the picture in one of these things here. So the point I'm trying to make here is, they do the controversial thing and they got all the news talking about this. Meanwhile, the people are not even looking at it. You're going to see what's controversial, and it's going in your mind, because if the white man can masquerade as God, you understand what I'm saying? Then he can rule the future generation. You see. Meanwhile, they're celebrating Justin Timberlake taking over some soul shit. Can you believe this shit? As well as Eminem. And they said 10 years from now there won't be no black, there won't be no black rappers, it'll just be a bunch of white boys rapping, and the black guys will be producers. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So that's a ritual they do. They did this with Eminem. So this whole concept here, you see what I'm saying? Now, to let you know that this is all a ritual, they did one on Judas. They did a movie on Judas that's coming out tomorrow night on ABC. They said they did the movie in 2001, and they waited and held it until it came out paralleling this whole movie here. Everything is everything. Meanwhile, they did a movie on Jesus Christ in 2000 or 2001, one on CBS. You see, bringing back this white image of Jesus Christ. You see, that's a form of white supremacy and how they do things based on the whole concept of their particular generation, and that's what's going on here. Even with Eminem. Eminem won a fucking Academy Award for Green Mile, for music. You ain't got, 3 people got that for black music. Shaft won one, Isaac Hayes won one for Shaft in 71, and I think Quincy Jones has one.
Plus they did a movie about him. Out of all the rappers that been out, there's never been a movie about a rapper.
Right.
They're showing all that about different people, but it was about his life. And he's a white rapper now.
You see.
The 8 Mile thing.
And even when they did Malibu's Most Wanted, it's still this white rapper. They got one called White Boys. Did you see this one? There's one called White Boys. There's some white boys in Iowa. They want to be rappers. You seen that shit now? Oh, it's something. It's an independent film. And they go to Chicago to get some drugs and stuff like that. It's the truth. You know, this came out in '99. But the point here is they still got this thing going on, and it's all a part of a ritual. You see, all a part of a doggone ritual. You see. And, you know, I did like the halftime thing that they did with Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Grammys and the P-Funk and all that. Yeah. But still yet they got this white boy up in there with an all-black band. Yeah. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This nigga with no talent. So this is stuff that's going on, and it's all a part of a major ritual that they go on with. Moving right along. Now you got your Haiti thing. Now that whole thing, we know that the Haitians took Haiti, or the black folks took Haiti, or the slaves took Haiti in the Haitian Revolution. Revolution was what? 17? No, what was it? No, it was 1894. No. Yeah, 1894. So now this is the 1804. Excuse me, 1804. Because this is the 200-year anniversary. Because it had been 100 in 1904. So in 1804, they took Haiti. So all of a sudden, it's not by accident that all of a sudden, Haiti would just break out and they got all this stuff, and the next thing you know, they got Aristide running for his life. Now the key here is, 60 Minutes came right on the TV and showed the guy that the United States government kicked out to bring Aristide back. And he said that he was backed by the United States government, put him in there to kick Aristide out, to bring Aristide back. Now Aristide is kicked out. And what we don't realize here is, they vowed, Europe vowed, that they will never let Haiti be at peace, because Europe has never been defeated by a non-European power in its existence, and since white people started rising up. And so as far as they're concerned, we're talking about 20 years of, they just celebrated 20 years of AIDS in Haiti that the government dropped in Haiti in 1982. They, you know, 82 and 83, they just celebrated 20 years of that. So this whole concept here, what's going on, is not by accident that you would have this thing that goes on with this whole concept of them coming in and they got this whole turmoil. Meanwhile, it happened. They made sure that the whole thing happened the entire month of Black History Month. You see, it's very key on how that whole thing went down. So now be on the lookout, because you got this guy John Kerry, who is running Number one, this guy here is the cousin to George Bush. Not only are they cousins, they're both skull and bones. So it don't matter Democrat or Republican, you're going to get the same person. You see what I'm saying and all. Now more than likely, I believe that Bush will return. You see what I'm saying? But this John Kerry thing here is, they setting it all up, even if they say hypothetically, if they're around 4 years from now, John Kerry will be the #1 man. You see, so this whole thing, the way this going on is very key. Now, moving right along, things that's going on in the actual, that's going down, and one of these is this. They had this flu scandal, this flu thing that went down back in December. Now the first thing they tell you is this, that the flu, they tell you that the flu, with this flu shot that they got, if you don't take it the first 2 weekends in October, it don't work. So why is it that they would have a flu vaccine for an epidemic of flu that went down, and the flu level goes to the highest level it's been in this country since 1919 or 1914 or something, and then about 2 weeks or two weeks into it, it falls and disappears, and nobody catches the flu. The mystery here is, but yet they run out of flu serum and the flu vaccine. Now follow me on this, because this is what's going down. They run out of the flu vaccine, but how did they do this thing to trick people into getting the flu vaccine? They had a few people to die, a few children to die from the flu, right? Back here in December. So how they fooled people was, they said, we're going to run out of the flu vaccine on Monday. So as a result, people lined the streets to get the flu vaccine. Okay? They was giving out the flu vaccine for free. It cost $5 million for them to get it in Atlanta. And they giving it out for free at the Kroger grocery store down there for free. Now wait a minute, since I want to know when the white man